Hi, and welcome to another episode of D-Link TV DIY. I'm Mike, and I'm here to help you get more out of your network. So last week on episode 32, I showed you how to mount one of these. This is a DCS 920 to the wall. And so what we're going to do this episode is show you how to connect to the camera to view it locally, and then how to configure your router so that you can view your camera remotely. So if you haven't watched the episode on how to mount your camera, go ahead and watch that one and then come back to this episode. So to configure your camera, the only thing you're going to need is the Ethernet cable that came in the package and a laptop computer. Now, if you don't have a laptop, that's fine. You can always take the camera off of the wall and connect it directly to your router. I just find that having a laptop is a lot simpler. In case you have to reconfigure your cameras, you don't have to take them all off the wall. You can just do it right there on the spot. First, take one end and connect it to your camera. Now, just connect the other end of the Ethernet cable directly into your laptop. So now that we have the laptop directly connected to the camera, what we need to do is assign a static IP address on the laptop so that we can configure the camera. So let's do that real quick. To set a static IP address on your laptop, right-click the network neighborhood icon and select Open Network Connections. Then on the local area connection, right-click it and select Properties. Then scroll down to Internet Protocol TCP/IP and select Properties. Now, click Use the following IP address and enter 192.168.0.1. The subnet mask will automatically fill in for you. Then just select OK. That's all there is to setting that static IP. So now that we have the IP address on our laptop configured to be static so that it's in the same IP range as the camera, it's very easy to connect to the camera. So let's connect to it locally, and then I'll show you how to configure your router for remote viewing. The easiest way to find your camera is to install the setup wizard from the disk that came with your camera. Just run through the installation, which is very quick, and that'll give you the program. Now that you have the install wizard software installed, just go to All Programs, D-Link, and then you'll see the Setup Wizard SE. Run that and it'll find your camera. If that's your only camera or the one that you want, just highlight it and select Link. That'll open up a web browser for you to connect to your camera. Just enter admin as the administrator username. There's your camera. Now we just want to go to Setup, go to Network Setup, and we're going to assign a static IP address to the camera. So just select the static IP address button and then change the IP address to 150 and then save your settings. Now that the camera has a static IP address, we're going to want to disconnect the laptop and reconnect it to your router. At this point, you're going to want to either run the cable from your camera if you're going to wire it to your router, or you're going to want to run through the wireless setup wizard. So as you can see, connecting to the camera locally is very, very simple. But to view the camera remotely, say from another house or from work or something like that, the camera, the audio and video signals need to be able to pass through your router without getting blocked. So what we need to do is open up a couple of ports on your router. So that's pretty easy too. Let's look at how that's done. Set your laptop back to an automatic IP by right-clicking on the network neighborhood icon and selecting Open Network Connections. Then right-click on Local Area Connection and select Properties. Scroll down to Internet Protocol, TCP/IP, and select Properties. And then just click the Obtain an IP Address Automatically button and select OK and close. Now connect your laptop back to your router and you will be good to go. Now connect to the camera using 192.168.0.150 that we assigned it. Once you've connected to the camera, click Setup and then Network Setup. what we want to do is enable the second HTTP port. Click Enable and just leave it as port 81 and then save your settings. Log into your router and go to the Advanced menu and then select Virtual Server. Enable the setting and then give the setting a name. I'm going to call it DCS 920. Then the public port is going to be the 81 that we set on the camera. It's going to be TCP/IP, and then we're going to enter in the IP address that we assigned to the camera, 192.168.0.150. And the private port will also be the port 81 that we had assigned. Now save those settings, and now your ports are open. So now just determine what your public IP address is, and then anywhere you go on the internet, you can use this IP address to connect to your camera. So now we've configured the router so that you can connect to the camera from any remote location that has internet access, whether it be your work or another house. But that requires that you know what the public IP address is that your ISP is giving you. So next week, I'm going to show you how to set up a dynamic DNS address so it's much easier for you to get to your camera. So that's going to do it for this episode of Dealing TV DIY. I'm Mike. Thanks for watching.